You have been here almost for 3 months,
Yeah.
and could you tell us a bit about your research while you are in Japan?
I'm particularly interested in the role of China in changing development opportunities in developing countries across the world. And while I've been at the Institute of Developing Economies in Tokyo, we've been talking about new research on the changing role of China in Southeast Asia, particularly in relation to how China, as it becomes richer, will be demanding more products from the region, and maybe some of the labour-intensive activities that were taking place in China, like the garments industry, may increasingly be moving out to other parts of Asia. So looking at the transition from the current linkage between Southeast Asia and the poorer countries of Southeast Asia to China, and how that might change in the future.
You already mentioned that the value chain approach, but could you tell us once again about what the value chain approach is, and could you tell us also the positive and negative impact on developing countries, especially in terms of the governance?
The value chain approach, it's a method that analyses the way in which businesses, including small farmers and informal sector workers, are linked together. And we see that the world increasingly, that activities are fragmented across different countries, across different continents. We also see how many businesses are involved in the production of different products. And a value chain approach analyses the relationships that take place between businesses. And for development, the issue then is how can we leverage some of the interactions that we see along the chain, and in order to improve development outcomes. So that might be large firms investing in small farmers. It might be looking at opportunities for opening up new markets through understanding what those markets require and bringing in new intermediaries like cooperatives or traders to link producers to new markets. Those new markets may be within a country, may be within a region, or it may be global. So the analysis really is looking at linkages and how we can use those linkages for promoting development. In terms of the positive and negative effects, I think that it really depends upon the business and the sector. So you may find, for example, that in some situations, globalization of business marginalizes small farmers or produces a degradation in working conditions for labourers in global factories. But from a development point of view, we look for ways to minimise those negative consequences and maximise the positive consequences. And global standards for labour, for example, would be one example of trying to minimise the negative impacts of global factories and use standards and the leadership of businesses and governments to improve conditions for workers across many countries across the world.